Okay. All right. So peace and shalom, family. Peace and shalom. What's going on? We're about to get started in a moment. All right. Let's see. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give a moment just for a couple of y'all to come on in. Don't forget to share this link. Share this link everywhere. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on your way in to show some, I would say, some good housekeeping. All right. So I'm gonna give y'all a moment. Let y'all trickle on in. And hit the thumbs up button. Hit that subscribe button as well. All right. All right. All right. Shabbat shalom, family. Shabbat shalom. I'm gonna give you another moment. Okay. Let's see. All right. So I'm trying a couple of new things here and there. As you can see, the backdrop behind me is from my green screen. I have the Freestyle Friday flyer showing up on there. So y'all let me know if y'all like that, what y'all think about that. Still in the process of getting, it takes a long time to get the vinyl one printed, so I'm still waiting on that. But y'all let me know if you like this backdrop behind me. This is the flyer over the green screen. So let me know if you guys like it. All right, hit 1 if you guys like it. Hit 1 if you guys like it. If you don't like it, hit 2. And I'll just have a plain bare background next time. All right, y'all just let me know. Okay. All right, y'all said it's okay. All right, cool. Yeah, because I have to get 2 separate backdrops. I'm getting one for Freestyle Friday, and then I'm getting one for a general one with the tagline Culture, Community, Autonomy on it. The only thing about doing green screens with using StreamYard is that, as you can see, sometimes you have some clipping, you have some jitter, you have some artifacting that happens sometimes. And as well as now looks like there's a contrast issue, a white balance issue with the camera as well. But we'll push through it. You see, I'm getting light and I'm getting dark on the screen. So hopefully it's not much of a distraction. And then next session we do, I'll kind of like, tweak it a little bit more until we get it just right. All right. The best thing is getting the background vinyl, so that way I won't have to do the green screen no more, and we won't have no more artifacting. All right. Okay. All right. So I'm glad you enjoyed it. Y'all said that's good. All right. Yeah, we can rock with it for now. It's not a problem. All right. We can rock with it for now. It's not a problem. All right. Okay. So with that being said, we're going to get started. Let me give a couple of shout outs so far for those of you who have joined in. Let's go up. Let's see. All right. So shout out to Lisa Anderson in the building. Ezra, shalom. Black Ave. Scott Garrett Headley, shalom. You said you got blocked on Zion channel for defending Moray. What was that about? Let me know what that's about, King. I don't know what's going on with that. Let me know what's about. Shout out to Jaslyn Berry. Ya'a Asantawa, daughter of Zion, shalom. Sister Tara Young in the building, the way everlasting. Bula, daughter of Zion, shalom. Shaloma, shalom, the way everlasting, shalom, daughter of the Most High Pug. What's going on? Gartrell McKinney, S.E. Thompson, shalom. Myriad 06, Sister V Love, AJ Bethia. What's going on? Stacks 2296. What's going on? Sister Consuelo Foster in the building. Brother Aaron the Presby. Shalom. Marlon Eugene. What's going on? Sister Megan Taylor. What's going on? Brother John Dorsey. What's going on? Jamel Jones. Get Wise. Sheila Garland. What's going on? Leslie Fields. Donna T. Official Loco. Shalom. What's going on, man? Let's see. Who else we got up in here? Aishu Cole. Shalom, my brother. My brother Desmond. I got to give you a call. I think we missed our call last week. That's my bad. I own up to it. So I'm gonna hit you up this upcoming week. I think you already scheduled an appointment. So I'm gonna highlight you, my brother. All right. So forgive me for that. Let me see. Who else? Jennifer Pacheco, Alex McCaskill, shalom. Nisi's PC's in the building. Mr. Glass, shalom. Napturo Beginnings, Isha in the building. Miss Bay or Miss B, shalom. Ramon Walters, shalom. Sam Bone, what's going on? All right, we got a shout out here from Jamaica. What's going on? Roxy Rowlett, shalom. Von Eric, shalom. Media Man 24, what's going on? Faith Building by Yah. Zeph in the building. The Village Faction, shalom, shalom. Let's see who else we got. Let me see who else is in the building. Shout out to Donna T. Thank you so much for the donation. Shout out to Strong Island. Keep it a buck. What's going on? Austin, Texas in the building. 617. Let's get it. What's going on? What's going on, family? All right, family. Again, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. Hit that thumbs up. All right. Shout out to JD Israel in the building. What's going on? What's going on? Hit that thumbs up on your way in, family. Hit that thumbs up on your way in. All right. Dimitri Elder. Shalom King. What's going on? What's going on? All right. My brother and Aaron, the Presby, says repping from South Korea. Shout out to you, my brother. Shalom. Sister Bina in the building. What's up? What's up? All right. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started as y'all come on in. Again, make sure you hit the thumbs up button, share this video everywhere. Okay. And make sure if you're brand new, hit the subscribe button, go back and check out our archive because everything we got on here is powerful. All right. All right. So let's go ahead and get started, family. All right. Shout out to Sister I Am Sister Hada Shah in the building. Shalom, sis. Shalom, shalom. All right. Kid R. Shalom, shalom. All right. So I know a lot of y'all been hitting me up on social media, hitting me up through here and so forth. Shout out to my brother Sean McGee in the building saying, Divine, everything good? You okay? Because y'all haven't seen a lot of content from me over the past week or so. And I completely understand that. I made a couple of attempts to edit some videos and had some issues with the video editing software that I have. So I'm in the process of upgrading that. So that way I don't have any issues and I can have a much smoother flow in regards to video editing. Shout out to Rose R in the building. Shalom. And then at the same time, you know, I'm available to the public, you know what I'm saying? What you'll see coming across your screen, across the banner. We have the email so that y'all can reach us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. We also have the 678 number, which is our KHM hotline number that you can call. That number has been open. I've been speaking to the public several times every day, been speaking to somebody new, and been building out and expanding KHM, right? We have tons of things that we're doing in KHM. I'm telling you, man, KHM is like nothing else in our community and nothing else in any other community for the record. You feel what I'm saying? We're doing a lot of good things in KHM because we have a lot of good people. You know, the Most High had really brought a lot of like-minded, quality people my way, and I'm forever grateful for that, right? So in the process of nation building, we have two things coming up this weekend. Saturday at 9:30 p.m., we have the KHM virtual chapter onboarding session. So all of you guys who received a call from us, those of you who received a call from us in regards to, you know, for you showing your interest in KHM, we received a call from us and we spoke with you and we added you to our KHM virtual chapter group. And that group is there for those people who live in cities and towns in which we haven't established a KHM chapter yet. But this is the way for you to stay abreast with the ministry, get involved, get active, and learn some skills. All right. So I'm going to share a couple of things about what we're doing with KHM. I'm not going to do too much. You have to be part of the organization to really see the things we're doing behind the scenes. However, all of our $100 pledge Patreons, those are all shareholders of our organization, which means they have a stake in the progress and direction of the organization. So whenever we have our meetings, whether it's a pop-up meeting like we did last time or a future meeting, all of our $100 pledgers will be privy to those meetings. They'll be allowed to come into those meetings, listen in, voice their opinion, give their suggestions, and help us build and grow the ministry. All right. So at our $100 pledge on Patreon, those members, they will have direct input and say so in direction and organization of the ministry. All right. So I just want to make sure I put that out there. So that's one benefit for those of you who are $100 pledge. OK, so so that's Saturday, 9:30 p.m. We have the KHM virtual chapter. It's not too late to join in. So what you can do is go to let me show it to you on the screen, because you got to get the app in order for you to join on in. Let me share it with you real quick. All right. So if you have an Apple iPhone, or Apple iPad, you're gonna go to the Apple App Store and you're gonna look up this app. It's called the My One Church app, the My One Church app. So make sure you click on this app after searching for it in your Apple App Store, download it and install it. Click on the icon and it'll pop up. And once it pops up, you'll see a field for zip code. Type 30064, 30064. All right, hit enter, and you'll see Kingdom Harbinger Ministries show up. Click on that, and I'll bring you into our app. And in our app, the top and the upper left of the buttons that show there on the home screen, you're gonna see where it says membership. All right, let me show it to you on the screen real quick. Oh, look at that, see-through. It says membership right there. Click on membership, sign up, and join the team, man. Join the team. I'm gonna show you a little bit real quick, and then we're gonna go. All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is we're having a KHM project managers onboarding session, right? Project managers onboarding session. And pretty much what that is that we have created a team of project managers that's going to help us get out more products, goods, and services to the community and programs to the community. As a project manager, they're giving the blueprint or the concept of the project. And once they have that, then they look at the manpower in regards to the shareholders, everybody that's involved, look at the budget, and look at the time, right? The timing or the timeline, and use those three elements in order for them to complete the goal. And what we're going to be doing in that particular session is we're going to be going over project management. Also, everybody who joins up with KHM, you will be provided with a skills course, so you can learn skills that we are paying for. And these are skills that are being used in Fortune 500 companies and top tier nonprofit organizations that we are paying for, right? So all of our members will have access to the 6 to 7 core modules that you'll be given. However, you can go to the website and there's tons of other modules that you can get. Once you pass each module, you are provided with a certificate, and you can then add that skill to a resume. But the reason why we're giving you these skills is because we want to equip you to be thoroughly able to accomplish any goal thrown our way at KHM and any personal endeavors that you want to take with you. Okay. I've been in this community for a good while. I've been in this community since 2013, and being in this community about almost 8 years. I haven't seen no congregation, no church, no camp actually provide us with formal skills training. Okay. There's some things you may learn on the fly, and some things they may, in turn you'll put you on in the wing. But for the most part, these are the type of skills that you learn if you get a top tier job. Okay. And we provide the training for that. All right. So for the project managers, we also providing training to our project managers as well. So you can come just with a desire to serve and to volunteer on behalf of, KHM to the greater community with no skills, and we'll build you up and give you all the skills that you need, right? Because that's what we're in the business of doing, right? Because I hear a lot of people talk about nation building. I'm gonna touch on that in a little bit in a second, but I don't think people know where to begin when it comes to nation building. They say it sounds good, but I don't think they know where to begin. But we're gonna touch on that a little bit. And those of you part of the Patreon, you probably seen me upload a book and a document on nation building. It's deep. All right, it's deep. All right, so that's what we're doing on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. We're having the there's going to be a push notification from the app, and it's going to be email going out to everybody that's in that group, the KHM virtual chapter group. And again, if you have the app, you click the groups button, and you can add yourself to our virtual chapter group. Okay. So that's going down at 9:30 p.m. on Saturday, and on Sunday, everybody that is in our project managers group, you guys will have a session with us. Now I'm gonna show you just a little bit of the PowerPoint, not too much. You got to really get in order to see the rest. But we are equipping people to do real nation, but like real skills and training. Now, let me tell you, when you become a member, we have a skills course that we put you through. Again, we're not playing games. We're not playing games. But I'm going to show you a couple of slides, just a few slides, so you can kind of get an idea of what you're going to miss out if you haven't already signed up, right? But let me tell you about the core skills that we have, right? We have core skills training that every member gets. I'm going to, let me see if I could probably bring it up on the screen so you guys can take a look at it. You can see it. Let me bring it up real quick. Let me see. It's this one. All right. So let's do this. All right. Hold on 1 second. Oh, I can't even see this. Hold on, because I'm trying to do this this double screen thing. So you gotta bear with me for 1 second. Hold on real quick. Thank you so much for the donation, family. I appreciate that. Shout out to Sister Lynette. Thank you so much for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much for Brother Alex McCaskill for the donation. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, y'all, for the donations. I appreciate that. So yeah, let me show you this real quick. If I can, I might have to pause. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, let me see if I can get it to work now. Hold on 1 second. Let's see. All right, there we go. Where is? All right. Okay, and let us share the screen. All right, so this is for the KHM virtual chapter onboarding session. This is what we're going to do on Saturday at 9:30 p.m. Saturday at 9:30 p.m. So again, if you're not part or have not signed up for our KHM virtual chapter, this is people who are interested in joining KHM. We're going to bring you on board. Okay. Now, if you are in DMV area, if you're in the Dallas area, the Norfolk area, the Orlando area, and the Los Angeles area, the New York area, the Houston area, and the Raleigh-Durham area, and the New Orleans area. If you're in any of these cities, Dallas, Houston, Raleigh-Durham, New York, Los Angeles, DMV, Norfolk, New York, what you want to do is you want to join the groups that we've already created, because these are chapters we already have set up officially or unofficially. All right. So you want to join those groups. But if you're not in any of those cities, please sign up for the KHM virtual chapter group. All right. Because this way we'll be able to engage you, train you, and get you involved in the community. Okay. Just no matter where you're at. All right. And this way we will see the high concentration of people showing interest in KHM and therefore come out there and set up a chapter. All right. So this right here is the KHM virtual chapter onboarding session. So this is what you guys will be treated with when you guys come in on Saturday night at 9:30 p.m. All right. Here's our core executive team. Shout out to, David and Gail Gillespie. Those are my executive assistants. And Consuelo Foster, that's my personal assistant. That's our core executive team. And then you have me there, DivineProspect, right? And here's a couple of things that we're going to tackle in this KHM virtual chapter meeting. And again, this is just so people can generally see the things that we're going to talk about. We're going to dive into. We're going to go into the KHM ministry organization vision. We're going to deal with the KHM chapter launch video review. Make sure that everybody who's interested, you saw one of our KHM chapter launch videos. All right. We have 4 of them up. We have the one for Orlando, the one for Dallas, the one for DMV, and the one for LA. All right. We're going to go into membership dues because we use that to fund the KHM operation and allocate funds by way of budgets for various projects to build up various services and programs and products that we want to offer the community, We give you official t-shirt, lapel pin certificate, the fresh skills training, and that's the training courses that I told you about. The app and online software, we're going to go into detail about that, tell you about the virtual chapter meetings that we're going to have, get you into groups, assume roles, and take initiative, and also get involved with the community offline physically and show you how to get that in. All right. So again, this is a little bit of the things that we're going to touch on when that time comes on Saturday. So again, make sure you guys sign up so you can kind of see what we about, how we getting down, and how we going to get you involved in a cause that's greater than you. All right. So here again, we go into the KHM ministry organization vision, and you know, we touch on some of the chapter launch videos that we want to make sure that everybody has seen. All right, which is extremely important so you can understand what we are about in more detail than what I'm able to go into in this particular PowerPoint. And then we go on from there. All right. So that's pretty much what we're going to do in regards to on Saturday. But again, that was just a little preview. But if you want to get into the rest, you can go ahead and join in and see what we're about. Okay. And also, there's another one that we are doing on Friday. That's the project management one. So I'm going to go ahead and show that to y'all as well. All right. All right. This here is for our project management. Okay. This is the KHM project manager onboarding session. Again, this is for Sunday at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And anybody that's in any one of these groups, we want you guys to join in on our Zoom session that we'll be doing. Everything will be recorded. So anybody in those groups, if you cannot make it and you do miss it, the video will be available in those groups. That's the only way you can get it. You cannot email me for it. You have to be part of the group in order to get access to it. All right. And we're going to show you how to do that by means of the online software. So the app is a little bit limited. We're waiting for the developers to add more functionality to it in another month or so. I think the timeline is Q2. We'll see. But in the interim, there's an online link that takes you to the online software, and log it into there. You get full functionality of what you can do in these various groups. All right. Again, that's why we want everybody to make it to the virtual chapter meeting if you can, or to the project manager meeting, and we go more detail on how to do that. All right. Now, if you in the other chapters, that's fine. You will have your own independent meetings. However, if you still want to join this meeting, because I'll be giving it, you can definitely join in. If you're in the Atlanta chapter, we're going to be having an Atlanta soft launch at the end of February. I'll be spearheading that, and I'll also be touching bases with our Atlanta chapter before we get that popping. All right. So here we go into project management. All right. I already showed you guys the core executive group. Going to our table of contents. We're going to go back into the KHM ministry organization vision, team introductions. All right. What is project management? We're going to give you a 10-minute video that covers it from A to Z. All right. Required reading materials. We have a book that we use for project management, as well as various monographs and documents training you on how to do project management. If you don't understand how to do it, we're going to train you. Also, we have pending projects that we have that produces products, goods, service, and programs to the community. And these are the things we're going to give to our project managers so they can get that project completed, hand it off to the appropriate team for operations purposes, and then offer a new found service, program, product, or good to our community at large. We're also going to pair project managers up so they can work together on various projects. We're going to go into the online software, tell you what our expectations are, let you know what compensation is, because we do pay out stipends for your time and for assisting us. And then we're going to summarize everything. All right. So that's just so you guys can see it again. We're going to go into the ministry organization vision and go into detail about that, do our team introductions, and go into what is project management. All right. All right. So just wanted to show that to you guys in case anybody is interested. Again, you still have time to join these groups. All right. So we can get busy. All right. Because we're not playing games out here. This is definitely here so we can put this work in and really build our community. All right. So if you have Android, you want to definitely go to your Google Play Store so you can download the app so you can sign up for either one of these things that we just mentioned. So that way we can get you in on these meetings and get you started as, actually being productive by way of the community. All right. So hold on. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. All right. Let me see if I could pull it up and show it to y'all. Here it is. Okay. So this is the My One Church app. Again, you're going to download that from the Google Play Store. All right. Once you download from the Google Play Store, you're going to install it, install it, open it up, and in the zip code field, you're going to type 30064. All right, 30064. All right. Hit enter. You'll see our ministry pop up. Click on it, and then it'll bring you right into the app. All right. Look around in the groups. Join some groups. Click on sign up for membership. So far, we got over 410 people, I think, almost 411 people interested in joining the organization. A bulk of that, I would say 75% of those people will be onboarded this Saturday or tomorrow, into the ministry organization. So we're going to welcome you in, give you the skinny based on what I just showed you on the screen, and bring you into the organization so you guys can get your hands dirty for the kingdom. You feel what I'm saying? Because we got a lot of work. And if you join the groups, you'll be able to see some of the things that we're doing. So that's how you get the app in order for you to get started in Android. All right. Okay. So those are those two things. Also on the Patreon, let me show you guys some stuff on the Patreon real quick. We just added a couple of new things on the Patreon. Right. So let me go ahead and let y'all see some of the things we just started on the Patreon. I want to show you something real cool as well. Let's see. There we go. All right. So on the Patreon, I just uploaded this article suggestion from Nation Building. This is actually from Harvard University, looking into nation building and breaking it down from a mathematical perspective. Is really, really deep, really deep. All right. And you can join our Patreon to get access to that. Also here we have the Beginner's Guide to Nation Building by RAND organization. And they break down nation building, and they use the models in which the US and other nations have made attempts to rebuild nations from scratch that has been in anarchy, etc. So they go into detail about that. Now I'm going to bring that up in a few and talk about that, because I hear people in the community talking about nation building, but do they even know where to start? Right. And this is the purpose of KHM, right, is to establish autonomy after we're able to reconstruct and restore our ancient culture and a contemporary environment, so we can build a more close-knit community. And from there, we can grow into autonomy or self-governance and be able to tackle our own societal ills within our community and take back control of the management of our own social affairs. All right. All right. Also, very interesting, the Natural Medicines Therapeutic Research free website access. Now, you have to pay to get access to this website, and our $50 a month plus pledgers, they get access to this for free. So you may want to know, what is the Natural Medicines Therapeutic Research, right? Let me break that down for you guys so you guys can see what that is. All right. All right, I'm gonna break it down so you guys can see what that is. Because you got people out there that say, shout out to my brother Jonas Condek for the donation. I appreciate that. He's funny. That's what's up. So let me show you what this is, right? Because you have a lot of people out there that say, oh, naturopathic medicine is a quack, and it's just not going to help you with your immune system against COVID. And so what was created is a natural medicines comprehensive database. Okay, I'm going to read this to you. All right, the Natural Medicines Comprehensive Database, one of the most comprehensive and reliable natural medicine resources available, is a therapeutic research faculty, an impressive team of experts. Natural medicines in this context refer to all herbal and non-herbal supplements. Although some of the supplements may not be produced from natural sources, they are included because they are generally categorized with natural products. The author's main goal is to create an objective, reliable, scientifically investigated database, including some evidence-based natural medicines for use by healthcare professionals and patients. The data and consensus of scientific information on natural medicines has been used both to create the database and the book, which you can order from Amazon, but it's in excess of $300, $400, $500, $600. Okay, and I'm giving you access to everything in those textbooks for free. just for pleasure and supporting the ministry, okay? The authors support the concept that the more informed health professionals are about natural medicines, the better advice they can give their patients. The trend to make complementary and alternative medicine part of the medical school curriculum is evident in a series of articles published in a recent issue of the journal Academic Medicine. Marcus discusses reasons for the critical need to teach medical students and residents about complementary and alternative medicine. Frankel and Ari state medical schools and residency programs are starting to respond to this demand. Physicians should become informed consultants and be able to provide educated advice about CAM to their patients and help them integrate any CAM therapy shown to be safe and effective into their health care. Talale and Talale strongly advocate the importance of using scientific principles to develop medical agents from plants. The Natural Medicines Comprehensive Database is an excellent reference source that meets the need for educating healthcare professionals who want to become knowledgeable advisors about natural medicines to their patients. So when I do research, I'm not just sitting here scouring the internet for this and that. I put my money where my mouth is, and I sign up for all of these organizational groups. And what I do is I pull data from there and I give it back to y'all. I get books and articles from there and I give it back to y'all. I get website access from there and I give it back to y'all. In that post, I give you a login of username and password so you can get access to this paid site to see all of this comprehensive medical and scientific peer-reviewed articles and documentation in regards to natural medicines, aka naturopathy. All peer-reviewed. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're not playing. Again, you know, we set it at the $50 pledge to see if people are really serious about their health game, because we are here at Kingdom Harbinger Ministries by way of our subsidiary Naturopath to Eden. It's going to look a little weird because of the green screen, but this right here is the Naturopath to Eden Holistic Synergy. This is the binder that I've been building up tons of pamphlet information on everything. So we go into nutrition, food facts, teach you how to read the food labels on things that you buy from the store. We go into basic nutrition, teach you about basic nutrition. We go into, let's see what else we got in here. Vitamins and minerals. We go into vitamins and minerals. All right, teach you about vitamins and minerals. All right, where you can get good sources of these things from. What are trace minerals, ultra trace minerals? All right, what vitamins need to be used in conjunction with other vitamins? All right, toxicity that you experience when you overindulge in vitamins and minerals. We go into depth about that. We also go into herbal therapies. All right, give you a couple of herbs, tell you what they do, what they're good for, and if there's any scientific data to verify and validate that. We go into essential oils for those of you who are into aromatherapy and use essential oils as tinctures and of the like. We go into that into detail. All right. Also, we deal with allopathic medicine, looking at pills and medications. All right. What they are, what they do, and if any of them adversely affect you taking any additional vitamins and minerals, because certain medications prevent the absorbability of certain vitamins and minerals. That's interesting. But if you're not aware of that, then what good is going the healthy route if you have not investigated if the prescription that your doctor has given you is coming into contradiction with the healthy diet that you're trying to achieve? See, at Naturopath to Eden, that's the goal, holistic synergy. Looking at each individual part, seeing how they relate to each other, and then from that, being able to promote the produced effect of the sum of all those individual parts when they're looked at as a whole. Holistic synergy. That is our tagline from Naturopath to Eden. So currently, we are setting up our training course. We already brought on about 42 prospective consultants and 11 affiliates. We put out an assessment test to see where everybody's at before we start our training. And this is some of the information that we go into frequently. Not only this, there's also 6 textbooks that I read from and I teach from, but there's one major one that is given to our consultants. We cover everything. So we don't play games here when it comes to the health. All of our consultants get access to that website I just showed you, so that way they can go and look up any of the regimens that we suggest by means of education information to our end users or clients, that everything is verified and validated by the latest medical and scientific research. We don't play games here when it comes to health. All right? We don't play games. Okay? All right. Okay. All right. So anyway, if you guys are interested in that, I have a couple of more that I didn't put in here yet. I got about 6 more that I just got that I did not put in here yet. But we're going to continue to keep building this. This is about 20 pamphlets worth of quick guide information to give you everything you need to know in regards to good health. Now, the textbooks we have, they're in excess from 500 to 800 pages. Now, I've read about 4 of them in completion. 2 of them still pending. I haven't finished them yet, but I've read through these things. Like this, I don't play games when it comes to this. So when y'all see me having these discussions with Ankh and with all these other people in the conscious community, I mean, y'all think did they think I just woke up and just look on the internet and do this? Like, I'm like, this is what we do, right? This is not a game. Not only do we do this, like we have a successful program that has helped 75% of the people that sign up for it to get them back to the Edenic state. Not only do we deal with your physical ailments, we deal with the holistic person, which includes your emotional, your physical, your mental, and your spiritual dispositions. Because if you're spiritually wrecked, if you're emotionally stressed, if you're mentally fatigued, then it doesn't matter what I prescribe to you physically. So we do a wholeness check with every part that makes up the person. You're not going to get any care like this anywhere else on the planet. The end game for this is creating a fully fledged HMO to support complementary and alternative medicine. Because if you have healthcare now and you want to go see an acupuncturist, or if you have healthcare and you want to go see a naturopathic doctor, you got to pay out of pocket. Or your insurance may cover a small percentage. We're creating fully fledged HMO that provides insurance that fully covers your visit to any one of these places. We give benefits to the doctors to bring in as many patients as possible and keep as many out, because people have the wrong concept and idea of what insurance is. It's in the event of, in the emergency event of. So that's why people who pay into it, we also give them kickbacks, and we give them money back for what they invested, a portion of the money back from what they invested if it's not been used for that year. And then we also use that to pay bonuses for the doctors for keeping patients out. Because allopathic medicine thrives off a recurring business model. We manage your illness and disease so you can continue to come back. That's why it's very sketchy in regards to cures or unknowns in regards to this disease. Because if we know it and we tell you how to fix it, then that's not a good business model, because then we keep you out. We're not going to make a lot of money. So we kind of change that whole scheme of things and bring it back to a more holistic approach in regards to dealing with the person. Okay. All right. Okay. If y'all are y'all interested in purchasing these binders, I got a couple of these already stacked up with various pamphlets to give you quick, digestible pieces of information that you can then throw out here and there, and everything that you would get from these 600 to 800 long page textbooks. They minimize all the major points and they put them here into small factoids that you can just grab, eat, and just go with it. It gives you even dosage and concentration, toxicity, interaction, adverse interactions, the best bioavailable sources to get it, etc. So if you're interested in these, let me know. I could sell them. Let me know. Or we could do giveaways and I could just give them away on this channel. Y'all let me know. But the Naturopathic Eating channel, we have it already up. There's no videos on it yet, but we will do that this spring. We will start doing health videos for you guys. All right. But again, this is the stuff that we're doing as a ministry. So if you don't see me on camera, it's because I'm doing real nation building behind the scenes. Like, this is what we're really doing behind the scenes, taking calls, helping people with ails and ailments, building a community, creating projects and programs, goods and services. This is what we're doing. I'm not out here just sitting here twiddling my thumbs. Like, we put it in work. Anybody that's in here that is part of KHM or who is working with us can attest that that is what we're doing. Our ambition is high, but it's okay when the Most High is the one helping us to drive. The scripture says that man devises in his heart, but Yod-Heh-Wav-Heh orders his steps. Proverbs chapter 16, verse 9. Okay. All right. So give me 1 second, family. I'll be right back with y'all. All right, y'all. Thank y'all for holding. All right. So again, we deal when in regards to naturopathic eating is looking at the diet, looking at supplements, and looking at exercise. All of that is derived, our paradigm is derived strictly from the scriptures. All right. We look in the book of Genesis, chapter 1. We find out supplementation by way of herbs and natural items from from seed-bearing plants. That is your supplement. When mankind was kicked out the garden, he was told he had to work to the sweat of his brow, right? In order for him to get food to eat, and that he would be met with thorns and thistles. Why is that the case? Because some anatomical changes occurred, physiological changes occurred, and physical changes occurred within the body of humans, where now we had to put in work. So that way we wouldn't suffer from muscular dystrophy, and we can be able to extend our life by exercise and being active. Okay, because now man being kicked out the garden, now he is in a different environment that is adversarial to his, extension of life. So there's your exercise element. And then Leviticus chapter 11 goes into the dietary law. So we have diet, supplement, and exercise. And these are the three things that if you find a way to appropriately apply it in your life, you will get results in regards to better health. And this is the stuff that we're talking about. Okay. All right. So let's transition from there. Again, this is important. You have to have a health management system. If you're nation building, where do y'all got it? Where's it at? Show it to me. Y'all got it? Where's that infrastructure at? Now I say this stuff all the time. I'm just waiting. I hear people say they nation building, but I have yet to see any results from that. And this is not to knock anybody in our community, because you got to start somewhere. But don't tell me you're nation building if you're really not nation building. I don't want to hear that. Okay, so let's get some updates. So on the Patreon, if you are a $20 pledge, you get access to our language courses. Also, when we start our Bible study courses, our KHM Holistic Research Paradigm for Bible Study, you will be able to get access for that for no additional cost. All right. If you step up to our $50 tier, you get access to that website I just showed you for natural medicines. You also get a merchandise package. If you're at the $50 or $60 levels, we give you a merchandise package every month to say thank you for being a $50 pledge. And then on top of all of those benefits, if you're at the $100 tier, you get to get involved in the ministry at its top. The top, meaning that your say-so is similar to what my say-so would be. And we're going to use your voice to help us to grow as a ministry and as an organization and be able to cater to the various needs of the community. We have a virtual homeschooling service we're about to offer. We have an emergency delivery services that we're about to offer, which means you pay a subscription fee. We stockpile items. If there's a natural disaster or an emergency in your neighborhood, community, city, or whatever, and you are adversely afflicted, you go to a website, you select the items you need, and one of our truckers within our organization that we're contracted will directly deliver it to you. Okay? We have a senior assistance program. So if there's any seniors here that are Israelites and they don't have nobody to come visit them, or their family has isolated them because they decided to wake up to the truth, we will send somebody to come and check on that person to make sure that they're good spiritually, mentally, physically, and emotionally. Okay. Also, we're going to create a retirement plan for teachers that are in our community. Okay. People who teach, people who do the work in our community. We're going to create a 401k retirement plan. So if you're an Israelite and decide that you're devoting your life to the kingdom and don't know how to have a portfolio to protect you financially for when you get old enough, when you want to enjoy your golden years, we're going to provide that service to the community. It's going to take time, but we're going to do it. All right. We also have another program we're working on to reduce the recidivism rate within the Black community for both male and females. All right. That's another program that we're working on and trying to get out the door. We also have a children's app that I told you guys about. It's going to take place by giving you these biblical events from the perspective of a child and teaching a child STEM through culture. And this app right here will be readily available to anybody, and all the characters in it is going to look like us. So our children have something to identify with. Okay, and then we have tons of other services that we're offering as well. We have a meal order service similar to Blue Apron, right? But we're going to customize it with med diet items, all right, and or vegetarian and vegan items, all right, depending upon what the person's diet is. And we got to mail it and ship it directly to the individual, okay? We're going to compete with Blue Apron and all those other meal to order companies, okay? So we're going to have another service that does that. These are all things we're talking about behind the scenes. All the stuff we're talking about behind the scenes. Our KHM music group is also going to be launched, y'all willing, this fall. All right, depending upon how much funds we raise for that project. So that way we will give an opportunity to artists that are in the community to have a full-fledged contract that is extremely flexible, where we provide studio time for you. We set up a tour for you. We give you a manager. Okay, we do distribution for you. We do manufacturing of your album or your digital media, etc. Right? We do merchandise for you for branding and marketing. We're going to provide the whole 360 package for artists in our community, because it's crazy that the reason why we don't get a lot of promotion is because we don't have a real music group behind our community where we can get our artists in mainstream, where they can affect change through their words of gift of being artists and so forth. That's what we're going to provide. Also in June, we're working on creating a get together in June, and I'm not going to say all the details right now, where we're going to get spoken word artists. We're going to get artists that actually draw. We're going to get musicians, people that play instruments, people that sing, people that rap. All right. We're going to get people who to give mini lectures and all of that. We're going to have this event. Hopefully everything goes well here in Atlanta, where everybody's welcome to come. We're going to start doing advertisement in late April for this. So you can come out and you guys can see all the talent that's in our community network. And it's going to be great. And these are the things we're planning behind the scenes. We're going to start throwing solutions conferences where we want people to compete to say we have the best solution to fix societal ills in the community. Instead of debates about doctrine and all of that, how about we debate about solutions? So we're going to provide that. We're going to provide a health conference, Israelite Health Conference, the first that's ever been done. Israelite Health Conference by the end of the year. So that way, everybody in the community who is a naturopathic practitioner can come and share their knowledge with roundtable discussions, panel discussions, breakout sessions. You can vend and all of that. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So if we're not providing these things, then what benefit is coming into this community besides I'm an Israelite, keep the statutes, laws, commandments? Now, where's the ecosystem of support for those individuals that they ever need anything? Can they call your church? Can they call your camp? Can they call your congregation for that? If they can't, then we have work to do. But that's what we're doing here at KHM. So I'm just giving you a little bit of insight. I don't want to tell y'all too much. We got a couple of other little goodies that we have loaded up. And we also have the calendar coming soon, because I know a lot of y'all is harassing me for that, and I understand. It's coming soon. It'll be here soon, right? After our project managers meeting, we have 2 project managers we're going to place on that so we can expedite that process and get that calendar out the door ASAP. All right? So thank y'all for being patient with us. So if you see that I'm silent, I have not put a lot of content up. It's because day to day, I'm putting in work, except for the Sabbath. I'm putting in that work, building an organization to provide for the needs of the community. And if you don't believe me, then anybody in here who's part of that can raise their hand and tell y'all what we're doing in here. We're not playing games. We're not playing games. What you see here, me talk and build and discuss, debate, lecture on here, share information, that's 50% of the ministry. The other 50% is out in the streets, putting in work. We're reaching the community through our works and using our works to bring them to the truth. The church proselytize, throw Jesus down your throat, and then try to get you to join their church. And then guess what? You still got the same issues in your black community with 100 churches on the same corner. That's done. That's over. The solution for our people is autonomy, being set apart, being able to disconnect or detether ourselves from a society that is funding our oppression. A welfare state that is forcing you to be heavily reliant upon it so that you will never be able to get liberation. So there should be some degree of blessings we should enjoy for keeping Torah if we learn how to walk it out appropriately. And KHM is the impetus to make that possible. But you don't need me to promote KHM. You can just listen for the people in the chat. They can tell you how we get busy. That's all I got to say. So I'm going to skip past that. All right. So let me see. Again, it's not too late to sign up. Get the app so you can sign up. And like I said, 9:30 p.m. tonight, which is Saturday now, we're going to have the KHM virtual chapter onboarding session so we can bring you on board ASAP. And then the next day, we have our project manager session. All right. Now, also, we provide free training courses where you get certificates. Now, I'm going to tell you some of these courses. Now, as an organization, we are funding this. We are paying it for you being a member. So let me go over some of these things for you guys so you guys can see. When you join up to become a member, there are some core skills that we are providing to you, okay? So let me go ahead and get into those core skills for you. And then out of those core skills, you can go to the website, and there's other programs on there, courses on there that you want to take. Let us know, and we will pay for it. Because we want you to have all the tact and diplomacy to operate as a member of KHM and in your own personal endeavors, okay? So I'm going to go over this with you guys real quick so you guys can see what these things are. So the top skills that we will be paying for, and everybody will be learning this when you get into the virtual chapter meeting on Saturday. And again, anybody can join the virtual chapter meeting. Customer service course, we're going to give you. Communication strategies course, we're going to give you. Emotional intelligence course, we're going to give you. Goal setting and getting things done course. Conflict resolution and time management. So when you sign up for a member to be a member of KHM, you have to take these courses. It's mandatory, but we pay for them, and you get to take your time with them, right? To keep you busy while you're engaging in the chapter meetings and everything like that, and doing work in your physical community. So on top of that, there's tons of other skills that are available on the website. And again, when we go to the chapter, maybe we'll go into this, that we will take care of for you. So let's say that you was interested in administrative skills, and you say, hey, you know, I want to help out in administration, but I've never been formally taught. It's just things I've gone in from school. We said, don't worry about it. We have executive and personal assistance courses, organizational skills, social media in the workplace, supply chain management. We teach you that. Career development. So let's say you want to do your career. We teach you the soft skills you need, communication strategy I mentioned earlier, developing creativity, digital citizenship, entrepreneurship, interpersonal skills, personal branding, telephone etiquette, telework and telecommuting, time management. And those things you get from the basis of just signing up. Human resources, personal development skills, anger management, attention management, critical thinking, improving self-awareness, increasing your happiness, job search skills, managing anxiety in the workplace, sales and marketing. If you're interested in that and say, hey, I want to do sales and marketing, we want to join this group, Divine. Hey, we're going to pay for this course. Here you go. Take the course, get a certificate, and we put you in place. And you can also use that for your own personal endeavors. Supervisory and management, attention management, body language basics. We give you call center training. If you're interested in that, we paying for all these courses. And these same courses are being used by Fortune 500 companies to ensure that the people that they hire in their labor workforce is in tip-top shape. So why can't we do the same for building the kingdom of the Most High? I believe these skills should be available to anybody that joins a collective that is serious putting their hand to the plow and getting the work done. So why not be a part of KHM? Well, we can take care of that for you. So when people pay their membership dues, the membership due is $50. So with $50 per member, we're able to offer all of these benefits and more. Just for paying $50. It helps us to allocate funds to create these services that I just told you about, create products, goods, and programs for the community. And on top of that, we provide you the skills, courses, and training just for $50 a month for joining the organization. When I was in church, I had to pay tithes, I had to pay offerings, I had to pay for the new church building a fund that they had, the Pastor Appreciation Day fund that they have, the end of the year conferences that they be having. I'm paying for all of that, but yet I'm sky high in bills. I'm in debt. I have bad health. I have no skills and trying to look for a job. And yet I'm still finding little pennies to put into church for tithes, offerings, etc., and miscellaneous. We said we can do this for $50. $50 per member, we can give you all of these things and more that the church never gave you. And I'm not saying there's no churches out there that does not do it. I'm just saying it's not commonplace. But at KHM, it's commonplace. And this is not a church, a congregation, or a camp. It is a ministry organization. So if you're part of a church, ministry, or camp, a church, camp, or congregation, the 3 C's, you can stay there. That's fine. And you can still join our organization. Just like being a Christian and joining the NAACP, something along those lines. All right. So again, this is what we're here to do. Now, a lot of people, maybe some of y'all didn't come and tune in to hear this stuff. I don't care. You need to know this stuff because you cannot just sit there and say, oh, okay, chant down Babylon. So Babylon's being judged But guess what? You're still tethered in every way, shape, or form. Every aspect of your personal livelihood is connected to Babylon. You have no autonomous system to provide you support as a Goshen that is untouched when Babylon is being chanted down and judged. Where's these systems at in place? Where? So that's why we do the teaching, to inspire you to see what else is going on with KHM. We like what you're saying, Divine. I like all of that. And I'm saying, let me show you what else we're doing. Check it out. And if you don't know and you don't have the skills, we will train you. We want to remove any hindrances. Our programs that we have and it's for the community, and then our services that we have where you can make money with the services. We pay you to sign up, and then we give you anywhere from 25 to 75% commission. So if you can't even afford to pay the $50 for a membership due, we say, look, here's a service you can join, work with a couple of people, and then you get that money and you get surplus to take care of your household. That's that. You say nation building, that's the economic cycle of ebb and flow. If you don't have the economic cycle of ebb and flow, then what are you really doing? Seriously, what are you really doing? What is your end game? Any place you go to, ask them, what is your end game? If they cannot provide you with an end game, then why are you there? Yes, I'm an Israelite. Yes, I keep the statutes, laws, and commandments. And then that's it. And then I go to a congregation being preached to, just like I was in church. Okay. I know some of the leaders are going to be mad at me for this, but I don't care. Now, let me show you guys something, all right? Check it out. Because we're talking about nation building, right? I'm going to transition. All right, check it out. I'm going to show you an article real quick. Thank you, Sister Noria Yisrael. I will be in touch with you soon as well, sis. I will be in touch with you soon as well. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that, all right? So check this out. Let me show you an article real quick. Because I hear people talking about stuff. I just don't see it happening. That's all I'm saying. Well, where's it happening at? Watch this. When you're here with us, we put you on the game. Okay? Let me show you something. For those of you who talk about nation building, it sounds good. But let me show you a book. Okay? And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a book on nation building, and then an article that breaks it down mathematically. And then I'm going to show you the impetus by way of the International Decade for People of African Descent, where we as Israelites in the African diaspora is a subunit of the African diaspora called Israelites, or a tribe called Israelites. And then from that, we are using that International Decade for People of African Descent as an impetus to employ the axioms or maxims of nation building contained in Torah. And then we're looking at the modern day framework of nation building, and we are taking them and merging them so we can have a unique way of applying this. And because of the International Decade for People of African Descent is there, and KHM is an NGO that will be working with the working group of experts for people of African descent, we can actually build behind enemy lines. See, you know, I've been in, like I said, I've been in this community for a long time. I hear this term nation building, but I don't see no blueprint from it. I don't see no plans. I don't see nobody say, okay, look, let me break it down for you piece by piece. I have several videos on this channel that goes into nation building, and guess what? They get the least amount of views. I say this all the time, which to me just shows the condition that we are as a people. Yes, I know you guys enjoyed the edutainment from watching Divine be animated and, you know, go on and do what I do on the camera. You know what I'm saying? Behind closed doors, anybody that's talked to me know I'm chill, cool, laid back. But on camera, I got to do this because a lot of this stuff is heavy. And if somebody's not keeping you engaged, you're going to lose interest. That's why I'm animated. That's why I let the New York come out, because y'all like that, right? It's edutainment. But let me get serious for a second. Let me show you this, okay? And I want you guys to get your leaders to say, how y'all nation building? Just ask them. We want to know how you nation building. We hear you say it all the time. You're talking about Torah, but how do you take what's in Torah and apply it in a contemporary environment? How do you do that? Well, I'm putting you onto game. Here's a book called The Beginner's Guide to Nation Building. All right? You ain't never seen this nowhere in this community, but it's okay. It's all right. I got you. In this book, it deals with preparing for nation building. Chapter 1, Chapter 2 is the military. Chapter 3 is police. Chapter 4 is rule of law. Chapter 5 is humanitarian relief. Chapter 6 is governance. Chapter 7 is economic stabilization. Chapter 8 is democratization. Chapter 9 is development. And chapter 10 is conclusion and the cost of nation building. Now, I'm going to get into some of the it's not really a preface, but it's an extension of the preface. It's a summary of what this book is talking about. And if you want to get access to this book, it's on the Patreon. Sign up for the Patreon and get access to this book. And then I'm going to show you the other article. And the article goes into the mathematics. Those of you who are mathematically inclined and you want to know nation building from an equation perspective, I'm going to put you on to game. And then I'm going to show you the correlations in Torah. We're going to make the connection tonight. And then from there, I'll put myself on a hot seat for a little bit, let y'all ask me some questions, and then I'll open up towards the end if anybody wants that smoke. All right? Is that good for y'all? Please hit the thumbs up if you're coming in. Hit the thumbs up if you're coming in. All right? We do not play over here at KHM. This is not a game. All right? Y'all can play with this walk if you want to. We don't got time for that. All right? Seriously. Shout out to my brother Jordan Skinnett. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate that. Yes, it is. Because nobody's really think tanking how to apply these things practically to resolve societal ills. Like there's an environment that is much different today than what it was at that time. So if these are axioms or timeless universal truths that when applied in any situation, environment, in time, it will continue to yield the same results. I did a whole I was invited to a teleconference where we were encouraging frontline workers during the COVID-19 thing that wreaked havoc on our community last year. And they invited me on to speak, and I went into axioms, and I used Israelite culture to extract universal truths that are applicable in any time, in any dispensation, in any environment, that they will continue to hold up the test of time. And that video didn't get a lot of views either. But it's okay. I know y'all will like the debates and you like me lecturing on the deep stuff. But sometimes I got to get practical with y'all. I'm just saying. We got to get practical. All right? So let me break this down for you. It's a science. It's a science. And what the Most High has left us in this text is a way for us to rebuild a real nation, to join in the blessings, so we can create our own autonomous Goshens while he judges this place. And then when he's ready, after he's done, he's going to exit us out from the four corners of the earth, no matter where we at. Some of y'all want to get a head start and head to Israel, to Jordan, and to those asylum places. Hey, that's your business. But the text says he will gather us everywhere he has driven us. He's going to do that. He's the causal agent for that end result. So if you want to do the work of Yah for him, that's your business. I'm going to trust him at his word. Okay, so let's get into nation building, all right? Because some of y'all may be new to this. I've been doing this for years, and it just seems people are not interested. So hopefully when y'all saw hot seat and smoke session, I baited y'all into some real information, all right? I'm not playing. All right, so let me show it to y'all real quick. Let's zoom in. All right, let's go down. Let me go down. Let me find what I'm looking for. I'll show you this. And while we're talking, you tell me what nation building is to you, right? Check it out. The first order of priorities, hold on, let me zoom in. Let me zoom out then. The first order of priorities for any nation building mission are public security and humanitarian assistance. If the most basic needs for safety, food, and shelter are not being met, any money spent on political or economic development is likely to be wasted. Accordingly, this guidebook is organized around a proposed hierarchy of nation-building tasks, which may be prioritized as follows. This book is 300 pages, okay? Security, peacekeeping, law enforcement, rule of law, and security sector reform. Humanitarian relief, return of refugees in response to potential epidemics, hunger, and lack of shelter. Governance, resuming public services and restoring public administration. Economic stabilization, establishing a stable currency and providing a legal and regulatory framework in which local and international commerce can resume. Democratization, building political parties, free press, civil societies, and a legal and constitutional framework for elections. And development, fostering economic growth, poverty reduction, and infrastructure improvements. Okay. All right. All right. Public security is the first responsibility of intervening authorities. That security is sometimes imperiled by contending armies and always threatened by criminals, gangs, and violence-prone political groups. International military forces are best suited for dealing with the first sort of threat. Police and with the rest, military police are better than standard infantry for some public security functions. Blah, blah, blah. So I didn't read the preface of this for you, but what they did was they used 6 cases by means of various countries and UN and peacekeeping missions and assisting oppressed peoples in other countries on how to rebuild their country. All right. And they're breaking down for you the things that they're doing. In most nation building operations, efforts to rebuild the judiciary and correction systems have taken second place to police reform. This is unfortunate and counterproductive. Police who lack prisons in which to put criminals and judges before whom to bring them would inevitably be left with the individuous choice of either punishing miscreants themselves or letting them go. Either alternative will corrupt and demoralize the best trained force. Okay. Next part, humanitarian relief. Humanitarian operations often precede nation-building missions initiated in response to the conflict and sustained in many cases throughout its course. Thus, while the arrival of peacekeepers may signal the opening of an operation for most of its constituent elements, it can signal the beginning of the end for those engaged in life-saving humanitarian relief efforts as displaced persons are helped to return to their homes and refugee camps are closed and public services are restored. Then it goes into depth about that. These are just a summary. All right. There's pages at the pages in detail about this. Economic stabilization. The resumption of commerce requires the availability of a reasonably stable medium of exchange. Sustained growth is virtually impossible in periods of very high inflation. Although donors may finance the resumption of government services initially, it is important to quickly reconstruct the host state's capability to allocate that funding and oversee its expenditure and to expand its capacity to collect its own sources of revenue. The more money that is pumped into government, the greater the opportunities for corruption, control of which requires institutions for auditing and accountability and the creation of a professional civil service. All right. Democratization. The prime objective of a nation-building intervention is to leave behind a society at peace with itself and its neighbors. Democratization alone will not ensure this outcome. On the contrary, elections may be polarizing events in already divided societies. In the context of nation building, the process of democratization should be seen as a practical means of redirecting the ongoing competition for wealth and power within the society from violent into peaceful channels, not as an abstract exercise in social justice. And we keep going. Infrastructure and development. Post-conflict societies are attractive candidates for development assistance. Dollar for dollar, aid to nations emerging from war will result in much higher levels of growth than will the same period or the same amount provided to more settled societies. Post-conflict societies also can use more assistance as measured as a shared GDP, which we don't have as an Israelite community, than more settled societies can. Whereas most developing societies cannot usefully absorb assistance representing more than about 20% of their annual GDPs, post-conflict nations can make good use of aid representing up to 40% of their GDPs, and in the first year following conflict, up to 70%. The quality of policies adopted by the intervening authorities and the host government will be important as the volume of assistance in determining the latter's utility. And it goes in depth. And it goes into conclusion. The ultimate objective of any nation-building mission is to leave behind a society likely to remain at peace with itself and its neighbors once external security forces are removed and full sovereignty is restored. Some level of democratization and economic development is likely to be essential to this desired result. Neither endeavor, however, can ensure peace, and either, if pushed injudiciously, can exacerbate rather the ameliorate the tendency towards renewed violence so prevalent in post-conflict societies. If peace is to be created, security is key. Only when a modicum of security has been restored do prospects for democracy and sustained economic growth brighten. Most historical nation-building operations has fallen into one of two categories: peacekeeping and peace enforcement. Now, You're going to say, Divine, why are you telling us the blueprint in which the UN and other member states like the United States and so forth, their philosophies that they utilize in order to rebuild nations that have been ravaged via anarchy, terrorists, or dictators? And I'm going to tell you the reason why is because how are we competing with this? Torah addresses each and every one of these functions. Let me show you what I'm talking about, all right? Remember, the objective is peacekeeping missions and peace enforcement, and any success that comes about via nation building is shalom, is peace. Why am I saying that and honing into that word? Let's go to Scripture. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 29, all right? And from there, let's go to verse 7. Okay, so you can understand what is taking place here. All right, let me bring it up on my screen. Give me 1 second so you guys can see it. All right, here it is real quick. Jeremiah chapter 29, verse 7 says, but seek the welfare, seek the prosperity, and work for peace and prosperity of the city where I have sent you into exile. Are we in exile in America? So we are to seek the peace or the welfare. We're going to see what that word is in a second. We have sent you to exile and pray to Yod-Heh-Wav on its behalf, for in its peace you will find your peace. Is that what the text is saying? Let's take a look and see if that's what the text is saying. And seek where dersu et shalom, ha'ir asher, and the city where higlati, that I've caused you, the hethos them, caused you to be carried away. All right. Etkem sama wehit palu ba'ada el Yahweh ki bis loma yikye lachem shalom. The key word is bis shalom, shaloma, and shalom. In its peace, bait. This is the preposition. In its peace, ye, you will have the imperfect third person masculine singular, cow, simple action tense, lachem. You will have peace, shalom. So if the worldly secular system understands that the best way to define a nation in the process of restoration and rebuilding, one of the key functionalities of its efficacy is the establishment of peace. The Most High says in the cities in which he has driven us away, we are to seek the peace of the city and intervene on its behalf, hitpael in the reflective sense, for it to Yod-Heh-Wav, because in its peace, we will have peace. Okay. All right. Okay. I know I messed up some people's night because I think some of y'all are just here for an argument, debate, and a whole bunch of other foolery, but it's okay. That's all right. I understand. I'll take the flack for that. I'll take the heat. So that book is accessible on the Patreon, or you can reach out to us. We can send it to you. I'm going to show you one more article, and then from there, I'm going to show you the impetus. So if this is what is being written with the world governments understanding this process, because a lot of times we don't even know about that, how that works. Well, I'm giving it to you. I'm giving you free game. We find out how that works and say, wait a second, we have our own paradigm here. Oh, a paradigm says this. It deals with all of these various pieces: security, governance, economics. Wait a second. If Torah was supposed to establish a theocracy where the Most High is the chief of state, and then he has everything set up for a nation to be established, then can we pull these axioms, these universal truths, timeless universal truths, and within the contemporary framework of the environment which we live, can we employ them so we can yield the desired results? So we can create these Goshens, so we can await our exodus and achieve autonomy in the process. All right. Okay. I'm sorry. It needs to be said. I know nobody's really talking about this in our community. It's okay. Let me show you this article that breaks it down mathematically. Again, this is not a game, family. We're serious about this. All right. So I'm reading this. I'm gathering this data so that way I can give it to y'all. You understand? This is what we're doing here. All right. So this right here is Nation Building, written by Alberto Alessina and Briani Reich from Harvard and University of College of London. Okay. Nations stay together. Now check this out. I want you to hear this. Again, all the things these heathens are talking about, y'all call them heathens, right? Or Gentiles are talking about, or goyim. Everything they're talking about, these principles are already in Torah. So why don't we have a functional model so we can show the rest of the world this is how you get it done behind enemy lines with limited resources, limited accessibility, and limited manpower? We can still do something great. And if we do it with Yah's name on the line, then he will provide us the blessings, the accommodations to get it done. Nations stay together when citizens share enough values and preferences and can communicate with each other. Homogeneity among people can be built with education, teaching a common language, building infrastructure for easier travel, but also by brute force such as prohibiting local cultures or even genocide. Democracies and dictatorships have different incentives when it comes to choosing how much and by what means to homogenize the population. We study and compare both regimes and the transition from dictatorship to democracy in a model where the size of countries and the degree of active homogenization is endogenous. We offer some historical discussions and several episodes which illustrate our theoretical results. Now, let me show you how deep this gets. And I will do courses. We're going to do a class on nation building. So don't fret. First, let's get this Bible study one up because I've been pushing that so far into the future because so many things have been come up. We've been working behind the scenes, building up KHM and so forth. I haven't really had a lot of time to put that out, but I'm still working on that. But we're going to do some nation building courses. What's nation building? We're going to analyze how the governments of the world are established and showcase how through Torah we can establish something that will enable us to have peace within the cities in which we live amongst each other and be able to showcase to the rest of the world this is what the light looks like. You've been in darkness for a long time. Come towards the light. Are they looking towards y'all? Okay, I'm just asking. Maybe it's me. I don't know. I'm going to show you this mathematically. Check it out. Let me get into it 1 second. Hold on. Let me find it. Let me scroll down some. All right. So it goes into basic model setup. We consider a two-period model of nation building. And the first period, a country is governed by a ruler, dictator, or elite, terms used interchangeably. And the second period, that country may become democratic or remain governed by the ruler. And the first part of the paper, the probability of democratization is taken as exogenous. Below, we endogenize it. Homogenization and distance. The population is composed of a continuum of individuals of mass 1 with heterogeneous ideal points distributed uniformly on the segment 0, 1. At any time T, an individual I resides in a country with a single government J that serves the citizens of the country. Individual I's per period utility function at time T is given by, and here is your equation. Now, this is the mathematics of nation building. The first term measures the value of the government by individual I. By government, we refer to a set of public goods and policies provided by an authority. The parameter G is the maximum utility from the government when distance is 0, where Dij is the preference distance of individual I from government J. We think of distance as geographic location, language difference, or difference in preferences between individual I and the public goods and policies provided by government J. The value A to the J power and T measures the cost of this distance. The second term is income Y, which is exogenously given, identical for everyone, and identical across time periods. The third term is taxes in period T, RT, which are split equally amongst the population of the country. We model homogenization as a technology which uses state apparatus to reduce the cost of distance from the government. Specifically, government J at time T implements a homogenization policy, and we have our mathematical equation there so that for a country with government J and for any individual in that country I, the cost to individual I of facing policies and public goods different to its ideal is reduced by fraction. We have it there, gamma JT. We refer to this homogenization of the population. Any homogenization policy is applied to the whole population within the country governed by J. The simplest way of thinking about homogenization is building roads or railroads or airports in order to reduce the cost of distance from the capital. This facilitates access to resources or government services offered in the capital, reducing economic isolation. Now, I can keep going. This is just the logistics in regards to population, identity, homogeneous. When you say homogeneous, that means they all have a common language, a common identity like we do. And from that, if we establish a central government, which Torah tells us to have judges and officers in our cities, if we was to establish a Beit Din, right, as a form of government and enforcement of that government, and the government is here, and the distance from us is here, and then we have to measure these variables to understand things related to time, distance, policies, public goods, etc. It is a mathematical equation. When I think tank KHM and how we can establish autonomy, I look at these for models and I put these equations there. I put the variables and the knowns with the unknowns, and then I factor everything in and see what's the produced result. And then I put it through the scientific process or methodology, which is to establish a coherent, consistent, reoccurring pattern that is congruent with what we're putting in and what we're getting out. So when you look at this same logistics and this same equation is in Torah. Okay, I'm gonna stop for a second. This can get highly mathematical, and I'm not sure how many people really understands this. Okay, all right. So when you understand from a mathematical equation how they got this thing down to a science, why are we not fostering the same thing within our community? Down to the simplest constituents, and show how each part is interconnected as a cogwheel within a clockwork or mechanical clockwork, and how that thing can project time, which is our community in a state of peace and holism. Okay. All right. When you see how they do this, we need to operate at that same level. So when we bring people on board for KHM, this is how deep we teach you and train you so you can be a nation building individual. That means no matter where we send anybody from KHM at, they have all the know-how, the tools, the access, the resources to get the work done. And that's what we're going to do in these chapters. We're going to have these autonomous zones for people in our community. If y'all are interested. Now, y'all may not be interested in it. Y'all may just say, Divine, I just want you to debate people. Divine, I just want you to talk about doctrine. Divine, I just want you to do deep lectures. That's all, Divine. Don't obligate me to get involved into nation building. It sounds good. I like saying it. Y'all tell me what you want me to do. Do you want me to continue to do the nation building thing? Hit 1. If you want me to stop doing the nation building thing because it's not getting enough attention and do something else, hit 2. I'll wait for y'all. Y'all let me know what y'all want me to do. Again, we have that book and that article. You can get them from Patreon or reach out to us and we can send it to you as a courtesy. It's not a big deal. You can search it for yourself, either buy it or find a means of getting it. And that's what we do. On the Patreon, I aggregate not just stuff about doctrine and culture. I also give health. I also give a nation building information. I give all types of stuff, economics, cryptocurrency, everything is on the Patreon. And we train you for all of this in KHM. There's no lack of training in KHM, no lack of work in KHM. All we need is people that want to get it done. Aren't you tired of just sitting in that congregation and say, damn, there got to be something else? Sitting in that church and say, man, there got to be something else. You know, going to your camp and say, okay, we doing this. Man, there got to be something else. And shout out to Mashra Yasharala because they were attempting to do just that. So there got to be something else. And that is the next thing. When are we going to say, what is the next step? When are we going to pressure our leaders to go to the next step? Teaching is good as long as you got the nation building to go along with that. That's how I look at things. Maybe it's just me. Michael Banks says, how much to join the Patreon? You can give whatever you want, my brother. There's no pressure. Whatever you're led to give is totally up to you. There's some suggestions there that come along with benefits, but what you want to give is totally up to you, my brother. Anywhere from $1 to $1 million is totally up to you. All right. So I appreciate that. All right. Fly up there and say, what nation are you really building and how? Are you talking about what I just said? Is that what you're saying? Let me know. Is that what you're talking? Is that what you're asking? Let me know. All right. So let me show you the impetus that allows us to do the things that I just read to you at a micro level. All right. Let me show it to y'all. And I've been talking about this for a long period of time already. I'm going to put it on the screen and let's deal with it. All right. Let me show it to y'all real quick. Here it is. All right. So can y'all see? Wait, hold on. I think this thing froze on me. It froze on me again. I don't know what's going on. Hold on, family. Let me try to fix this. Okay, my apologies. All right. This is the International Decade for People of African Descent, and that program from 2015 to 2024. All right. Let me show you this. Okay. Check it out. As proclaimed by the General Assembly, the theme for the International Decade is People of African Descent, Recognition, Justice, and Development. Okay. Now, let's look at recognition. Let me show you this so you can see where what I just read to you is an international program that allows us to enable just that at a micro level, right? So check it out, right? Remove all obstacles that prevent their equal enjoyment of what? Human rights, economic, social, cultural, civil, political, including the right to development. Promote the effective implementation of national and international legal frameworks. Withdraw reservations contrary to the object and purpose of the International Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Racial Discrimination, and consider withdrawing other reservations. Undertake a comprehensive review of domestic legislation with the view to identifying and abolishing provisions that entail direct and indirect discrimination. Adopt a strengthened comprehensive anti-discrimination legislation, ensure its effective implementation, provide effective protection for people of African descent, repel and review all laws that have a discriminating effect on people of African descent, adopt, strengthen, and implement action-oriented policies, programs, and projects to combat racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance designed to ensure full and economic enjoyment of human rights and fundamental freedoms by people of African descent. Establish and or strengthen national mechanisms or institutions with the view to formulating, monitoring, and implementing policies to combat racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance. And it says establish or strengthen independent national human rights institutions in conformity with the Paris principles and or similar mechanisms with the participation of civil society, and provide them with adequate financial resources, competence, and capacity for protection, promotion, and monitoring to combat racism, racial discrimination, xenophobia, and related intolerance. Now, what are you saying, Divine? This program that the international community, by way of the United Nations, has on the table for 10 years only, and the U.S. is the member state, they are supposed to allow us to nation build by means of providing our own security. You're going to say, our own security? What are you talking about, Divine? Well, let's go to the second part of what this is, and that is just this. Introducing measures to ensure equality before the law, notably in enjoyment of the right to equal treatment before the tribunals and all other organs administering justice, designing, implementing, and enforcing effective measures to eliminate the phenomenon known as racial profiling, eliminate institutionalized stereotyping concerning people of African descent, and applying appropriate sanctions against law enforcement officials who act on the basis of racial profiling. And it goes on to adopt the measures, policies, legal frameworks to combat racism, facilitating access to justice for people of African descent, preventing and punishing all human rights violations affecting people of African descent, ensuring that people of African descent, like all other persons, enjoy all the guarantees of a fair trial and equality before the law as enshrined in relevant international human rights instruments, acknowledging and profoundly regretting the untold suffering and evils inflicted on millions of men, women, and children as a result of slavery, the slave trade, transatlantic slave trade, colonialism, apartheid, genocide, and past tragedies, inviting international community and its members to honor the memory of the victims of these tragedies and calling upon all states concerned to take appropriate and effective measures to halt and reverse the lasting consequences of those practices, bearing in mind their moral obligations. This is on the international table, and the U.S. is a member state of the UN, and they signed this declaration, and therefore they have to implement this. But the working group of experts of people of African descent has determined when they visit the U.S. in 2010 and 2016 that the U.S. is not doing a part. You know why? Because they simply say we have measures in place, and we're going to continue with the measures we have in place. The working group of experts was a committee from the High Council of the UN, sent this committee there to investigate the U.S. to see if they're doing these things. And the U.S. told them that, and they told the U.S., yeah, you got these things in place. However, we're not seeing no change. So much so that in 2020, when the epidemic hit, right, the pandemic hit, and we start seeing this police brutality towards our people and all this uproar that affected the international community and local policies here, gave credence to another report written by the UN and its working group of experts of people of African descent to tell the U.S. that they are not doing their job, and therefore they're going to bring awareness so that more of us can put pressure on the U.S. so that way the UN can intervene. KHM is one of those NGOs that's making this possible. So in order to nation build, you must have some kind of charter or some kind of impetus that is being handed down from an entity or power greater than you that allows you to nation build. What is an example of that in the Bible? Let's go to the scripture. Because I don't want to lose y'all. Follow me now. Follow me. I'm taking my time with this. It's gonna take some time. Not a lot, but we get it in. Check it out. Let me give you scripture for that, since you think I'm bugging out. All right. Let me get some scripture. All right. Sometimes people only understand scripture. So I'm gonna give you some scripture. Let's go to Ezra chapter 1, verse 1. All right. I'm going to show you this in the Bible. Ezra 1:1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of Yod-Heh-Wav by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Yod-Heh-Wav stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom and put it also around, saying, thus says Cyrus, king of Persia, Yod-Heh-Wav, power of heaven, hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him a house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build a house of Yod-Heh-Wav, the power of Israel. He is the power which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the men of his place help him with silver and with gold and with goods and with beasts, beside the freewill offering for the house of the power that is in Jerusalem. And then it goes on to the vessels being restored. So the Most High moved on the spirit of a foreign king, so much so that Cyrus was called a Mashiach, a Messiah, because he was being used to redeem Israel from Babylonian captivity, to go back and rebuild their broken city. Now the Most High expects us to keep his statutes, laws, commandments. Let's go to the scripture. And I use the scripture all the time. It shall come to pass, when all these things have come upon you, the blessing and the curse, which I have set before you, and you shall call them to mind among all the nations where Yod-Heh-Wav, your power, has driven you. And return to Yod-Heh-Wav, your power, and obey his voice according to all that I command you this day, you and your children, with all your heart and with all your soul, that then Yod-Heh-Wav, your power, will turn your captivity and have compassion upon you, and will return and gather you from all the nations where the Yod-Heh-Wav, your power, has scattered you. In order for Israel to be regathered, we have to keep the statutes, laws, and commandments in some way, shape, or form, even in exile. So if the Most High is moving on the nations, the UN, or whoever, as an impetus for us to nation build and create these autonomous or set apart Goshens, so we can build our community as the nation is being judged and await our exodus, what are we waiting on? Are you waiting on scriptural proof? I just gave you it. If you want more, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to provide that. All right, so we're gonna keep going. I'm gonna put you on hold real quick. I'll be right back with y'all, family. All right. So now this is why we do what we do. So if that can be used as a way to get this done, let's go into scripture to see if scripture gives us any clues on nation building and how can we bring that into a contemporary state and what does that look like? Okay. All right. Let me show it to y'all real quick. And I've showed this to y'all before in the past. This document is also available in the Patreon, or we can email it to you. It's totally up to you. Let me show it to y'all. Now, remember the things that I shared with you in regards to that article that dealt with nation building. It also mentioned humanitarian relief. Well, Torah has it right here. Not to afflict an orphan or widow, not to reap the entire field, to leave the unreaped corners of the field or orchard for the poor, not to gather gleanings, the ears that have fallen to the ground while reaping, to leave the gleanings for the poor, not to gather all off the imperfect clusters of the vineyard, to leave all off the imperfect clusters of the vineyard for the poor, not to gather the single grapes that have fallen to the ground, to leave the single grapes of the vineyard for the poor, not to return to a forgotten sheaf. This applies to all fruit trees, to leave the forgotten sheaves for the poor, not to refrain from maintaining a poor man and giving him what he needs, to give charity according to one's means. All right. Now it says treatment of Gentiles. Now remember, a sign of good nation building is the shalom within and with its neighbors. The scripture says to love the stranger, not to wrong the stranger in speech, not to wrong the stranger in buying and selling, not to intermarry with the Gentiles, Deuteronomy 7:3, and that was conditional in regards to situation, to exact the debt of an alien, to lend to an alien at interest, which Israelites were allowed to do. But the key thing is 53, to love the stranger as you love yourself. You also have that in Vayikra as well. Why is that important? Because the objective is, I'm not out here to oppress you, because any judgment that is rendered for what you, your ancestors, or whatever is done to me, that's Yah's job. That's not mine. My job in the interim is to be the best diplomat for him and his soon to come kingdom. So that means I deal with you with a degree of tact, diplomacy, and respect, because my objective is to get what we need for my community so we can build our autonomy or autonomous state, which is our Kodesh or set apart state, so we can do what we need to do. So if we keep going through this document, it goes a little further. Let's go a little further. All right, let me scroll down a little bit more. Okay. Business practices, economics, not to do wrong in buying or selling, not to make a loan to an Israelite on interest, not to borrow on interest, not to take part in usurious transactions between borrower and lender, to lend to a poor person, not to demand from a poor man to repay his debt, not to take in pledge utensils used in preparing food, not to exact a pledge from a debtor by force, not to keep the pledge from its owner at that time when he needs it, to return a pledge to its owner, not to take a pledge from a widow, not to commit fraud in measuring, to ensure that scales and weights are correct, not to possess inaccurate measures and weights. Employees, servants, and slaves, it goes into detail how to deal with that. Vows, oath, and swearing, sabbatical law and years, court and judicial procedure. Another part of nation building, appoint judges and officers in every community of Israel. Not to appoint as a judge a person who is not well versed in the laws of the Torah, even if he is an expert in other branches of knowledge, to adjudicate cases of purchase and sale, to judge cases of liability of a paid depositary, to adjudicate cases of loss for which a gratuitous borrower is liable, to adjudicate cases of inheritances, to judge cases of damage caused by an uncovered pit, to judge cases of injuries caused by beasts, to judge cases of damage caused by trespass of cattle, to judge cases of damage caused by fire, to adjudicate cases of damage caused by gratuitous depositary, to adjudicate other cases between a plaintiff and a defendant, not to curse a judge, that one who possesses evidence shall testify in court, not to testify falsely, that a witness who has testified in a capital case shall not lay down the law in that particular case, that a transgressor shall not testify. Go on and on and on. This is Nation Building 101. Injuries and damages, property and property rights, criminal laws, punishment and restitution, everything that I read from you from that document that the secular realm has used all these years and instilling democracy everywhere, we have it in Torah. Because Torah is the exemplification, it exemplifies, I guess I could say exemplification, it exemplifies or it exudes universal truths that are timeless. These are called maxims or axioms. And we can use these things with the impetus of the International Decade for People of African Descent as a means of establishing these things behind enemy lines so we can create an autonomous state, so we can have our Goshens while this world's being judged, and then we can have the ability to exit out when it's that time. It's all in Torah. Now, if you have not studied all of these things in Torah and how they're categorized to understand various facets of nation building, then you're just saying it. How can you show me how to practically apply this in today's time to yield the same desired results? Can you show me that? What does that look like? That takes some effort. That takes some work. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the second phase. At the end of the day, if you're serious about nation building, sign up with KHM. This is the stuff that we're doing. I promise you, family, I will be putting out more content very soon, starting the middle of next week. But between now and to that time, I have some stuff to take care of, nation building wise. So I have to take care of it so I could put things in place, so I could free up my time to be more creative, so I can teach more, I can lecture more, and I can oversee more. But before that can get done, I have to put things in place. I have to structure, I have to organize, and we have to create a movement that has never been seen in the Israelite community before. I have people that have just got into this walk a couple of months, 6 months, maybe even a year, and they just so happen to stumble upon what we're doing at KHM, and they signed up immediately. And they said, from the short period of time that I've been in this walk, from what I heard about Israelites, I did not want to publicly say that I'm Israelite because I haven't seen us producing anything. And then I came across KHM and I see that this is what we're doing. So Rick Ruger says, can whites join? Yes, you could be an ally, definitely. If you want to join and contribute to what we're doing, that's fine. However, we have certain protocols that's in place. Because this particular ministry is geared towards people of color and the injunctions and the things that we face day to day, our leadership contains about people who are the best representatives of the vision of the organization. However, if Gentiles want to ally with us and provide any means of support, any means of talent, etc., to help out with the movement, we are okay with that. Why not? We have no problems with that. As long as you understand the protocol of how we move and how we operate. If you understand that protocol, then we have no problem with that. All right. Now you ask me a doctrinal question when I talk about nation building. And this is where the divergence come in. This is where the distractions come in. You say, hey, can we join? I say, yes. Then it's like, what about salvation? Well, we're not talking about salvation right now. Actually, you know what? We are talking about salvation. We're talking about the physical salvation of our people behind enemy lines. Yes, this is salvation. All right? So that's all I'm saying. That's it. We have to deal righteously according to Torah. In the end times, Gentiles will serve Israelites, but they're not going to serve them like black people were made to serve white people here in America during the time period of the transatlantic slave trade and slavery in America in the antebellum South, because that was not according to Torah. We will rule according to righteousness, and we will deal with those amongst us accordingly. But the reason why servitude must take place before the end state of eternity happens is to fulfill all prophecies that are laid out in the Tanakh, the ones that have been unfulfilled. Okay. All right. So sign of the times, if he is, that's fine, because guess what? He was looking probably for an entrapment thing to do on me. It does not work. You don't hear me say, I hate white people. You hear me say that? I hate Indians and Arabs and it. I don't. Why would I say that? I don't hate white people. For what? Why would I hate white people for? That, to me, that's just like, why? Now, I hate the oppressive systems of white supremacy and those who partake in it, but all white people don't partake in white supremacy. And there are some genuine white people out there that want to see movements like this grow because it's the right thing to do. They are genuine and they know the crimes that are being perpetrated against us, and they know that we need to set up our own thing in order for us to be successful. And they don't want to jump in our way and lead the charge because they know that this is our fight, not theirs. They're just an ally, and they're there to assist and support. So we show respect and love to people of other cultures. I have no problem with that. Just don't get in our way to what we're doing. Don't try to do this all-inclusive thing and try to eliminate our mission and our vision. That's not going to work. As long as you're not here to do that and you just want to assist, we're okay with that. Because we can need all the help we can get. If the Most High can use a Persian Gentile to assist Israel with rebuilding the city, temple, and walls, and then the Israelites can deal with the Phoenicians by way of Solomon to build the first temple, and if David can have allies, and all our people can have allies, why can we not have allies today? See, that's the problem with some of you Israelites. All right? Y'all tying your own hands behind your back and getting mad when you can't fight because you're getting rid of your allies. Why would you do that? If they already understand the premise of what we're saying and the need. You know why? Because when righteous people of color is in place, we help to restore order and balance. But when we are oppressed, order and balance cannot be sustained because of unrighteousness and injustice that's being committed. So when you see what happened in 2020 to people of color by means of an oppressive state, and that oppressive state has given immunity to their policy officers or ex-slave catchers from the past, and they have been infringing upon our human rights that have been given to us by the Most High Yah, you will have unrest. And those people, I've been in them streets and those marches. I got videos on this channel showing you that. I was there with people who are white. And they say, you know what? I completely understand your plight. And you know what? You guys need to lead this. This is not our place to lead. We just want to help because it is the right thing to do. They acknowledge that. They are genuine and sincere. They understand the plight and what's going on. Now they can't walk in my shoes because they're not of my complexion. However, a person can see who's genuine in heart, can see something is not right and say, you know what? Some kind of remedy or recourse needs to take place. So that best remedy recourse is allow us to build and develop our community according to Torah, the divine law, and show you guys that when this is in place, then your cities will have peace. Until then, you're going to continue to have all these issues. That's just how it gets down. Okay. All right. Okay. So hopefully that begins to make some sense. Let me transition and move from that. I see some people want smoke. I was going to do the hot seat thing, but let's go to the smoke. All right. Anybody want that smoke? Let me know. Let me see who's in here that might want the smoke. Fly After Realm. I think you're aiming that towards me. If so, join in. Let me drop the link. Okay. This link is only for people who want smoke. So all of my people's in there. This is not for y'all. Here's the link. If anybody wants to smoke. I'm going to use that to work that into the hot seat part. But I really wanted to take time out and talk about nation building. I know it's not that popular. I know it's just a colloquial phrase that y'all say because it sounds good. Yeah, we nation building, Ak. So he wants to know, I don't know if he's asking me that for real. He says, where's your cities, temples, and walls? Then he says, by the way, I'm apologetically black. Fly Out the Realm, I thought you was on game. You've been on this channel for some time now, my brother. Are you asking for the things that we're doing behind the scenes? Well, why don't you join our organization so you can come and see this? Does that work for you? You want to see the Knessets that we're setting up? You want to see the Hairs, the city that we're establishing? And you're saying walls. Walls in what sense, my brother? Huh? Have you been to Jerusalem before? Okay. All right. Link is right there. Fly Out the Realm. Join on in. Let's have a build. All right. Now, who was the other person? Y'all said that person was this guy right here, Rick Ruger. I don't know if you're sincere or not, my brother. I don't know. They're telling me you're a Christian apologist. Maybe you are. You have the link right here in the chat to click in and let's go. Thank you, Get Wise. Some people do like the nation building stuff. I know some of y'all was like, oh man, I'm coming back next Friday because we're going to do a follow-up to the Tanakh only build. And that's coming. I'm going to do another one of those. But something told me that I need to talk about nation building because we ain't got a lot of time. We don't have a lot of time. And we can have discussions, debates, smoke sessions, all that, as long as we're nation building. And that's what we're doing here at KHN. All right? So the link is there. There's your link. If you want to know if there's salvation for you, click on the link and let's talk. Fly Out the Realm. I'm not saying you're against me, but you asked me a question. I want to have a dialogue. I want to talk to you. We don't got to argue or fight. We're just talking, my brother. Click the link and let's have a conversation. That's it. Click the link and let's have a conversation. All right. Zeph says, this question for the Q&A. Do you have any sources, books or articles on who the Pharisees, where they came from, are in Matthew 21:45? So do you just want to know the history of the Pharisees? Yes, I have tons of books on that. Matter of fact, I think I have a book on the Patreon on the Pharisees. Let me see if I can find it. Here, let me bring it up on screen. I don't need to go to the Patreon. But if you want stuff like this, the Patreon is loaded with this type of stuff. All right. Let me get a book for you so I can show it to you because I do have tons of sources on that. Let me see. What's a good book I can share with you? This book is good. Let me find the other one. Hold on. Let me get another one for you. If you want these, email me, or simply you can just go to the Patreon and you can see it for yourself. All right. And let me get another one. One more book. Um, let me see. Hold on, give me 1 second. I'm trying to get you another good book. I'll just start you off with this. I'll show you these two books right here. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, so this book here is called A History of the Jews and Judaism in the Second Temple Period. All right, Yahud, A History of the Persian Province of Judah. This is volume 1, and volume 2 is The Coming of the Greeks, the early Hellenistic period. This is the period where the Pharisees, the Sadducees, and the Essenes, and some of the Zealots came about. All right, and this is from Lester L. Grab. This is one of my favorite authors in regards to learning the history of Judaism. All right. So if you want these two books, just email me and I'll send them to you, and they're very comprehensive and they cover all of that. Okay. All right. So I'm waiting on the smoke. I don't see nobody coming in for the smoke. And even people that left comments, and I say, hey, we go live Friday night, 11 p.m. Join on when we live. And you can come from the smoke. It's no problem. You know what I'm saying? We have a bill with anybody. It doesn't matter. But if you're coming in here to build in the chat, I want to talk to you. I just want to talk. That's it. Let's just talk. Joe Paul Music. How do we handle commerce as a nation? 3 ways. And I've mentioned this. Well, it's not limited to this, but as an example, community currency, community banks, and community foundations. These are the ways for us to have ebb and flow of currency, for us to have a currency that is valued based on the work and effort that we put in as a people. We have our own community banks that is responsible for allowing the facilitation of this currency, which can be both physical, tangible, and virtual. All right. And through community foundations, we can raise funds and we can get the wealth of the sinners and lay it up for the righteous and put that into circulation, where we can build up that national currency alongside a community currency, which is based on the value of our products, goods, and services that we have within our community, that is not affected by inflation or anything else. So there's major ways to do this through community banking, community currency, community foundations. I did a lecture where I talk about this in detail. But again, when I do my series on nation building, we will cover economics. Okay. So hopefully that begins to answer that question for you. Okay. Yes, I am. I'll probably do it next Friday. I'll probably do it next Friday, my brother. Next Friday. All right. All right. Avia, I've been in the truth for over 3 years, and you're the only one I've seen who covers doctrine, history, and nation building and health. We do health too. I'm joining Patreon. Can I pay on the Sabbath? No, you cannot pay on the Sabbath. For me, the Sabbath day starts in the evening on Friday, but the period of rest where you cease from your labors and transactions happens from sun up to sundown. So I can still do transactions all the way up until sunrise. But when sunrise hits, I got to cease until sunset. Okay. And then when the sun set, then we can resume. So if you want to join the Patreon, you can do it from now to sunrise and then wait until after sunset. All right. So that's my position. So I appreciate that. And yes, we try to be very comprehensive in the things in which we cover. All right. Philippians 4:8. Shalom, Mark. Thank you so much, my brother Marlo, for the donation. And yes, Philippians 4:8. Let me bring it up on the screen for you. All right. So I see that there is no smoke, that the people who are talking in there that they don't want the smoke. So, I mean, it's all good. If you don't want the smoke, let me get here. Philippians 4:8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are just, whatsoever things are pure, whatsoever things are lovely, whatsoever things are of good report, if there be any virtue and if there be any praise, think on these things. So I did a sermon when I was a Christian. It's called "Are You a Transformer?" You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna release that to Patreon. I'm gonna let y'all see the old sermons I did when I was a Christian minister. I'm gonna play it to you. But anyway, these sermons are good though. They're good sermons though. They're not cheesing. They're really good sermons that I probably can still use if I was like, asked to come speak at a congregation somewhere. But one thing I said is that the movie Inception was very inspirational because I said, how do you fight a bad idea? Because ideas are not tangible. Ideas can live beyond the person who creates it. Ideas can spread like a virus. How do you combat a bad idea? With a good idea. One idea can only be overcome with another idea. So in order for us to get past depression, in order for us to get past not having any financial success or failures, or in order for us to get over the hump that, well, I'm not spiritual enough for this, you have to combat that thought or that idea with another idea. And those are things that are true, things that are honest, things that are just, things that are pure, things that are lovely, things that are of good report. And if there be any virtue and any praise, think on these things. That is how you defeat bad ideas. You being depressed is a bad idea. Anxiety is a bad idea. You being in debt is a bad idea. You being stricken in poverty is a bad idea. You not being able to get ahead in life is a bad idea. These are all bad ideas. These are part of life. And when you engage and go through them, they are a subunit of a whole, but without that subunit, you're missing a cogwheel that allows the actual engine to move. So life should be a synergy of good, bad, and ugly, so that way the sum of all parts is greater than each individual part, and when they're all placed together, they produce a greater effect that Romans says is the good for those who are called according to his purpose. They work together. Synergia. They work together for good for those that are called according to his purpose, Yah's purpose. Or you are called according to his purpose. How do you know? He must take you through the good, the bad, and the ugly. If you have not experienced any of this, then maybe you're not being called to his purpose, because your role and assignment is birthed based on the summation of all these things, because through that is a greater produce effect, which is being in alignment with his will and understanding that your affections are on those things above and not those things below. It's deep when you get there. I mean, all have the capacity to get to that point in life. And if you don't know how to navigate life enough to do that, holla at us and we'll take care of it. The number is right there on the screen if you need to give us a phone call. All right? All right. That's true. Jacob Shaul, that's definitely true. Definitely true. All right. So since we don't have any takers, I was giving people the smoke session to come on, put me on the hot seat. Nobody wants to do it. And most people just stay in the chat and give comments. And again, to people that follow me, I'm okay for a difference in opinion. I don't want to debate with you. Let's just talk. Let's talk. We don't have to always debate. Let's build in brotherhood. All right. So I will follow up with the Tanakh session next Sabbath. I'll bring another section of information to kind of unravel for you guys and get into deep. Y'all just love that last session last Friday, man. Y'all still talking about us, still emailing and inbox me on. I know you guys enjoyed it. We're going to do part 2. But I was moved to talk about nation building today. And if anybody had a beef about that or any other grievances, I was going to open up the panel for a smoke session and they could put me on the hot seat. But it seems like people don't want to do that. Okay. So E. Johnson says, you see any issue keeping Sabbath sunrise to sunrise? You have scripture for that? If so, show it to me. Let me know. Do we use the same calendar after God created all things? No, we don't use that same calendar. It's a different calendar because when the flood happened, you had terraforming and celestial forming. You had a change in the atmosphere and a change in the earth. Therefore, that affected the reckoning of time. All right. So hopefully I answered that question. All right. All right. So with that, family, I'm going to end early tonight. All right. Thank you guys for joining us on today. Hopefully you guys learned something. Again, if you need any help, any assistance with anything, you can email us at kingdomharbinger@gmail.com. If you have emailed and haven't gotten an answer, feel free to call us 678-430-3832. Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and set up an appointment to speak to me or someone on my staff, and let us take care of whatever your inquiry is. All right. Thank you for everybody who has donated on tonight. We truly appreciate that. Everybody who just recently signed up for the Patreon. And also remember, tonight, which is Saturday evening at 9:30 p.m., we're having our KHM virtual chapter onboarding session. All right. So if you guys want to join the ministry, this is the best way to do so. Also on Sunday at 9:30 p.m., we're having our KHM project managers onboarding session, so we can tell you what project management is, get you on board, up and running, to help us get all these programs, products, goods, and services. Because once we have these things open and running, then the membership dues that we collect goes towards operating these things, paying out stipends, and making sure people are taken care of financially, and that we have services that deal with the necessities in our community, so we can continue to keep Torah, take care of the poor, the widow, the unfortunate, the stranger that is amongst us. And at the same time, not only do we have these projects that are open, taking care of issues in the community, we can also get governmental contracts, so we can go to cities and towns that are little known, that have a high concentration of our people that need these services, which should be basic social services that should be in any city, but major cities tend to have it more than smaller cities that are on the outskirts. So we want to go to those cities and help those cities. So we need the manpower and the financial resources to do so. And we're saying by collecting just $50 a month from each person that signed up for the ministry, we can get that work done. And by having these programs, these products, these services available, we can then apply for grants, collect grants, and then pay the people in the ministry part-time or full-time, and then use the wealth of that information that we are able to obtain from the grants and financial resources to move in more areas where they say Israelites can't go and influence. They do not want us to influence the middle class and the upper class. But you know what? KHM is doing just that, and there's nothing y'all can do to stop it. So either get down or lay down. Let me stop. Hold on. Some of y'all might think of that in a negative connotation. Get down or lay down. What do you mean get down or lay down? If you're going to get down with the cause, or what we doing is going to roll right past you, or even roll right onto you. The Most High operates with a moving train. You cannot stand still when it comes to the Most High. It doesn't work. Some of y'all are stuck on what was said and not what's being said. Some of y'all stuck in the perfect tense and don't know how to read the imperfect tense. Okay, some of y'all that know the Hebrew know what I'm talking about. What we're trying to do is give you the voice in its current context from the template of the past, so that once the foundation is grasped and is laid as the cornerstone, you can build something on top of that. Are you becoming that builder? Okay. All right. All right. Okay. Hopefully that helps somebody out there. I know this probably wasn't the message you was looking for on this evening. It is okay, family. This is meant for somebody. And regardless or not, either you're going to get down with the Most High and where he's moving, or the movement is going to run right over you. That's it. That's just what's going to happen. There's no more standing still, no more stagnation. There's too much work to do for us to keep arguing, debating, without also having a platform where we're building the community. Because I always offer almost every guest on here, whether I agree or disagree, if you need help, resources, manpower, you need somebody to talk to, I am here for you. And everybody that has called me in the past 6 months since we had our answering service set up, they've gotten on the phone with me and I've taken time out to speak to them. They say, Divine, out of all the personalities I watch on YouTube, I've tried to get in touch with these guys. Nobody makes their number available to speak to them. And if they do, it's very difficult to get to them. But I'm able to talk to you. That makes my day. Because I know what it's like when there's somebody that I admire that is contributing something positive to my life and not being able to have access to speak with them. So I said to myself, y'all, no matter how busy my schedule gets, I always want to make time to hear from the people. My ears is always to the street. And we must force this same obligation and same accountability to every leader in our community. Okay. All right. E. Johnson, do you want to discuss that? The link is there. Click the link if you want to come on and talk about the Sabbath. I have no problem with that. Matter of fact, I already have videos done on it. Just type DivineProspect Sabbath and several videos will come up where you see me talking about it. All right. I did a recent video in the past 2 months, I think, 2 or 3 months on textual criticism as it pertains to the Sabbath. All right. So hopefully that helped. Dina Charles says, I'm interested in homeschool. Will it be up and running by the fall? Yes, it is. We're working on it now. So by summer and fall semester, we'll be able to have the virtual homeschooling service up and running. But this is why we're bringing on our project managers, while we're professionally training them, and while we're giving them projects for products and services that will immediately impact our community in a positive way. All right. But we have to raise the funding to do so. So when people donate to KHM, and anybody who's called us, who's worked with us, understands that we allocate those sources to the needs of the organization that then extends to the needs of the community. Or it may be directly to community if I'm doing something directly. Everything we do is being accounted for. We have a finance department that we just recently established that is keeping an accountant of a bookkeeping of all of our in and out. So members can see our ledger and understand where the resources are going. We don't mismanage funds here in this organization. Okay. We know how to take it and use it for good. So whatever we raise, we're able to make a difference. And when you guys start seeing over the next couple of months, all these services that we have, these products that we have, these goods that we offer in the community, you're going to be like, wow, this is incredible. Because the objective is creating that ecosystem, because that's the only way a community can thrive, when it can depend on its own internal resources and can govern itself and its own social affairs. So if we're not doing that, then we're failing to pass the buck. All right. All right. So with that being said, thank you, family. I appreciate y'all for being here with me, taking time. I'm going to let y'all go early tonight. I'm going to go early tonight because I am extremely tired. I had a long Friday like I normally do. But I'm going to take some time for a little bit of R&R just to kind of relax, because then I got to teach y'all tomorrow. Make sure you guys sign up, get the app, go to groups, sign up for either membership or sign up to get in the virtual chapter group so you can get the invite, so you can be there tonight at 9:30. And if anybody's interested in project management, if you want to help us get these products, these services and programs off the ground to rehabilitate our community, to restore to them what was lost, and to reconstruct a model of success so they can engage in the blessings that is promised to them that will follow us if we keep Torah, here is the avenue to do so. And we will be willing to pay a stipend if that is an additional incentive for you to help with your community. You just let us know. All right. So with that, family, I love you guys. Now that you let me get off early, I'll have a Sabbath message ready for you guys on tomorrow. Let me get settled. I'm going to work on that, and I'm going to try to schedule it so that way it posts tomorrow so you guys can get your Sabbath message on time. All right. So again, family, thank you for joining. I love you guys. Thank you for your feedback. Thank you for your humble hearts. Thank you for your donation, for your prayers, for your likes, for your shares. We appreciate that. And let's go out and really nation build with the Most High's name on the line and show the nations how it's done. We got this. I'm going to show you how to do this, son. I love you, family. Thank you for